It's December 8th, 2013. Tears stream down my face as I remove family pictures from the great room in my home. I'd been instructed by my realtor not to decorate for the holidays and instead to remove every personal item possible from view. Then any possible buyer can picture their own belongings in the space. My cell phone buzzes. My realtor opens with, "How are you?" That is enough to bring me to the point of not being able to choke out very much response at all. It's always three little words that do the most damage. Have you noticed? I'm Deborah Atkinson, and you're in the right place. This is Fitness Marketing Mastery, the place where I share marketing and sales strategies that are easy, enjoyable, even fun. And that's all so that you can create a life and a business that you love without salesy, sleazy, or pushy messages. And today, I'm doing a little something different. Are you hooked? Do you want to know what happens next? That's the whole idea. What I'm doing right now is demonstrating something that ultimately I'd love to teach you how to do. And that is telling a story, but not just any story, telling your story, because no one can tell your story. So if you're in and hooked, let's get back to it. The year before, I had a comfortable six-figure income, no debt, owned outright a 4,200 square foot house that I loved, backed into the woods. I often saw dozens of deer, even an albino that lived in the backyard. I had paid for, no lease, no monthly payment Lexus, retirement funds, no worries about paying my son's tuition, let alone where my next paycheck was coming from. But within the last few months of that year, I'd pawned jewelry to pay for Facebook ads. I'd seen a psychotherapist and felt more fear and loneliness than I'd ever felt in my life. Little did I know that less than 54 days after pulling all those decorations off my wall, I would pull out of my garage for the very last time. My Lexus SUV packed with a couple suitcases, my two computers, my bike, blenders, of course, client files, and my old English sheepdog and the dog bowls and dog food he needed to drive 2 states away. The first time I'd ever lived outside of my Midwestern home state of Iowa. I would make the 10-hour drive pretty much in tears and land in my niece's home to live in her lower level bedroom with my dog. She and her 3 kids, 2 dogs, and husband welcomed me. But let me tell you, that is not what you ever dream for yourself at 49. My house not even under contract. Every belonging that I had, not with me, sat in boxes in the middle of rooms in that 4,200 square foot house I loved. I waited for a buyer, but temperatures below zero for weeks, reducing the number of buyers looking, made it impossible. Circumstances that started when I handed my resignation letter in on January 16th of 2013 started a cascade of 8 major life changes that occurred over 14 months. I could have only predicted 2. I quit safety and security and a regular paycheck, bye bye, on purpose, on a mission. And my son was going off to college in the fall. Those were the 2 I counted on. The other 6, some I've hinted at here, and others matter a little bit less, but here they are. A 10-year relationship fell apart. As it turns out, it was entirely built on false pretenses, and I've learned that painful reality over and over again for years. My financial situation changed dramatically based on investing everything time, money, and energy into a business, stubbornly trying to do it myself. I went from mastery in everything that I was doing every day to total learning from scratch how to build a business in a different way. I'd moved away from my immediate family and my friends and suddenly had much less in common with them. Who else did I know after all of that was a 100% online business? Um, no one. My family, once again, did not know what it was that I was doing. I'm sure they still do wonder, to tell you the truth. They say things like, you can do that from anywhere, with no real idea that this is more than about posting to Instagram from my phone what I had for lunch today. To say that it's been easy is a lie. If I can do it under circumstances like those, you can do it under circumstances like these. I broke ground in menopause fitness. I narrowed my niche from someone who's worked with everything from preschool tumbling, high school volleyball players, and golfers to 96-year-old retirement community dwellers and Parkinson's clients, pre and post rehab, and from beginning marathoners and triathletes to midlife men and women. And by narrowing from everything to one thing, I've amplified my business to currently six figures in monthly revenue. That, my friends, is more than 20 times the very comfortable life that I left and that tidy little paycheck from somebody else. And I was very comfortable at that monthly revenue. And I could have settled right there. But then, no, I knew that I was meant to help more people. Since 2000, I've been presenting fitness marketing and sales strategies internationally at fitness conferences like NSCA, IDEA, CanFit Pro, SCW, Club Industry, MedFit, Fitness Fest, and Philex, authoring books and consulting with fitness businesses and trainers. In 2020, in response to the pandemic's tragic effects on some trainers and health coaches not knowing what to do, I resumed a mastermind and masterclass series for taking this opportunity that you've been given, and yes, you heard me, to make your business and your life something you love more than your pre pandemic model. I'm going to share with you how to do that. And it's not about the mastermind or the masterclass because right now those are closed. We're in the middle of the year and this group is like a class. And so we're not open at this time. But here's the deal. You can imagine that we can't possibly cover everything that goes into the programming, the pricing, the marketing, the selling, and what you say when they say, you know, I need to think about it. I'll get back to you. I feel like I should do this myself. I don't know if I can afford it, or I don't know if this will work for me. You get those kinds of details. At the end, I'll share with you the last chance to get support this year. I have a passion for up leveling the fitness industry. I've heard big and very successful women behind brands you would recognize in an instant say things like this. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. Don't let them tell you that the science says this or that. You don't effing care. I don't care. I'm here to make money. If that's you and that resonates with you, then I won't. I want you to honor the science, the real science, not necessarily position statements and guidelines that miss specific demographics. But I am not about helping anybody who wants to contribute to the noise in the diet industry promises that leave people feeling frustrated, exhausted, or risk injury. If you're a heart centered health or fitness coach and you have something that truly helps women based on science and improving lives, not on quick fixes, then this is for you. If you want to figure out how to stand out and connect with your audience in a way that no one else can, this is for you. If you don't want the easy way and you're willing to actually do the hard work and love it to get where you want to go, then this is for you. And I want to address something really, really important right now because it is 6:55. I'm looking at my laptop. 6:55 on a Friday night. Now, there are a lot of fitness and health coaches that would be doing something else at 6:55 p.m. on a Friday night. And then there are those of us who've been doing this for 37 years, who are 57, who feel like there's urgency right now in this moment we're in, who are willing and who believe it's important enough to make a little sacrifice, to put off the exciting thing that I was going to do on a Friday night and really truly was take a shower. So don't be too worried about me. But not everybody is willing to do that. You have to ask if you are. And I know you're going to see on social media memes and asks by people who are marketing to you to take their training or take their course or start their mastermind that there's a smarter way to work, that it's not about working more and more hours and working yourself to burnout. Because I think that that is true. But I also believe that there is a moment when, if you're a farmer, you're talking to a Midwest girl here, so bear with me. But if you're a farmer in the Midwest, you can't decide that you just want to be a farmer because you have freedom and flexibility to operate on your own schedule, not when it's planting season and it's not raining, and not when it's harvest season. You have to do the work when the work presents itself. Or in this case, when there's urgency and there's a need and a message to get out, you have to be willing to do it then. And if you're willing to take the chance, do the extra things that others won't do, then this is definitely for you. And I needed to say that before we go here. Can you work less? Yes, eventually. But first, you have to do the foundational work and be willing to stop calling this a side hustle to a regular job. If you're ever going to make money doing what you want to do, you'll have to spend your early mornings, your nights, your weekends learning and doing the work. And you may need to do what I did, take a risk. Because if there's no reason, there's no net, meaning you've taken it away. If there's no real reason for you to succeed, because after all, it's just an extra, it's just extra income. You don't ever have to really be good because you always have an out. You have a real job. Think about that. And I'm not being condescending, but I am calling your bluff because I think someone here needs to hear this, that you're pretending that you really don't want to do your fitness or your health gig. And so you're keeping yourself very safe so that you quote unquote can't. While reality might be it protects you from having to do it. All right, next up, can you do this all organically? Meaning, is it going to cost you tons and tons of advertising dollars? So, can you do it all organically? The answer today is no. And you don't want to. You're going to have to spend some money on advertising at some point. First, though, You have to find the message that resonates with your audience, the images, the videos they respond to. And then once it's working for a small group organically, you want to amplify your reach and get it out to more and more people. More people have to see your program to get your offer, to say yes. In other words, if you don't ask, they can't tell you yes. And that's the secret. It's not a catchy name or a title. That's important. Well, actually, a clear title is, but even that, it's not where it starts. It's not building a big, elaborate program and tossing it out when no one registers. Everyone's done that. You have to be willing to try it, test it, tweak it, or toss parts of it, and then take another step. If you lay the foundation of knowing your customer better than anyone else, and then the messaging method that I'm going to teach you, if you're up for it, in marketing to women with copywriting they can't copy. But by the way, they'll want to. You'll not only create a program or a service that they want and they're willing to buy, but you'll also be able to sell it over and over again. Imagine that, selling a program over and over again that you created once, instead of doing more and more sessions or classes for the same customers. Which one sounds better to you? Here's 3 steps to fitness copy that no one can copy. If you're tempted to purchase those done for you fitness copy for newsletters and posts, just listen or read this first. This is a fast way to sound just like anyone else or everyone else and push yourself further and further from the audience that you really want to connect with. Look, if you're going to use facts you didn't find, post research you didn't do, you're going to get customers, maybe, that you don't like working with and you can't get results for. Yes, 27 trainers could use the same research study posted in the New York Times article this week in a post, but they will each interpret it in their own way. No one will interpret it exactly the way you do. And that's what creates an audience that loves you, loves what you have to say, and that wants to work with you. That's the way to be you and help them. You want fitness copy so juicy, they want it. Her reels got 1 million views. His post got 10,000 comments. The quote she posted is so good you wish you'd posted it. But then the one you did post last week barely got any engagement. As challenging as you may think it is to stand out against everybody else online, it's really not. When some woman near 50 still thinks it's okay to copy, literally word for word, someone else's social media posts, people like that make it much easier to share a unique and a real message. And I'm not kidding. A midlife health coach recently literally not reposted, but lifted my content. A repost would have been fine, even welcome and authentic. The midlife health coach actually stole my post, used my exact words, the words of a conversation between me and a client, in her own meme. And then she used the exact words that I wrote in the post copy under the meme in the lines of her post. She then had the audacity to go on and say she was a truthful coach, someone who speaks the blunt truth. Really? Wow. A week later, same coach posts a picture with her family and her son's graduation from high school. And I'm thinking, wow, again, I really can't believe it. Not just a coach falsely representing herself and plagiarizing content to then promote herself, but she's a parent. I mean, the plot thickens. I'll link to the podcast where I dug deeper into what you can do because if you have good content, if you're getting good results, people will steal it. And by the way, you can report that to the platform where it happens, and she would have been shut down. Instead of publicly apologizing or taking up my offer to come on my podcast, this one, in order to address the issue. And what possessed her to think doing that was okay when most of us learned in seventh grade that it's illegal? She went quiet after asking me to remove my post about what she'd done, what my actions and choices were, and an image of my original post and then her copycat post. I did not remove it. I did offer to if she would be willing to do a podcast episode with me. I heard nothing back after she asked, what would that look like? And I described it, but nothing. So, because she's probably not the only one, but if you explore the reasons why it might be true, which is what I'm going to share here, there's still no justifying lying and stealing. It's pretty simple. The reasons behind done for you and plagiarisms, attraction. Why is it so tempting to copy somebody else's fitness copy or what another health coach posted? Well, you see fans adore someone else and you can't think of something that clever yourself. You find your own content isn't working. And maybe that you're a little dried up in thinking about what would. You fear that others won't like you if you showed up as you. You don't know yourself well enough, or you don't know your customer well enough. And it is those last two that probably are the biggest reasons that can really help you if you fix them more than anything else. Fast fixes for your fitness copy. Are you ready? All right. You don't know yourself enough. If that was one of the reasons, or you worry what people will think if you post that. This one is potentially false to begin with. I mean, after all, who doesn't know themselves? But you may be reluctant to show the real you. Some call it imposter syndrome. Some hide behind it being professional. Frankly, that doesn't now, nor did it ever, have a clear meaning for any of us. Be professional. Be more professional. I was like, I remember being told that once in an interview. It was more related to while I was teaching aerobics and doing an aerobic demo for someone. She just said, be careful and watch your technique. Be more professional. I said, can you give me an example? What do you mean by that? No, just be more professional, she said. Okay, thank you very much. Got the job, but who knows what she means? I still don't know what she means. Conversational is the new professional, and transparency is the best policy. You will say things some won't like, and that will make others love you, the right others. Look, exercise can be fun, but I don't love running 9-minute miles on the treadmill during my intervals. I love the way I feel when I'm done. And if you're always talking about it being fun and exercise being fun, then you attract somebody else, not me. And that's good. You're attracting a beginner, somebody who struggles with mojo, and you potentially really know your customer will resonate with what it is you're saying. Be willing to show yourself jumping in the air, doing crazy reel because that's fun. And yet, if that is a no way, not happening, then it's not you. So know you. Maybe you shouldn't be talking about fun. Know what does work for you and your customer. Tell stories about you. What was the most fun you've ever had getting fit and why? Talk about it even if it may not be somebody else's choice. The point is the message. Second problem was you don't know your customer well enough. Could that be? It's about more than creating a fitness program and then creating posts about it and flyers for it. Successfully creating a profitable program is about solving problems for your customer. Don't go building the program until you know your customer and what they want to buy. During the pandemic, the problems of all of our clients were this: gyms closed, there was a dumbbell shortage, and people were isolated. So solutions became online offerings. YouTube exploded. Bands and tubing and creative use of water bottles and backpacks full of books was the norm. But outside of a pandemic, your ideal customer has other problems and did before and will after the pandemic. What are they? It is your job to nail those problems. And if you're not sitting down, whether it's under a tree, in a hammock, or around a conference table, working on literally the homework of what are those problems? What do they say? What do they complain about? What have they tried that they hated? And how are you different? If you can list them, those problems of your ideal customer, then you can get started on a program. You can identify the benefits someone wants from working with you, and you can determine the features of the program that will matter. Don't go esoteric here. People don't buy health and happiness or peace and calm. We buy answers to problems. That's what we'll spend money on. That's the kind of transformation that you need to be talking about, planning for. You deliver that, but you first have to wrap it up in what it is your customer wants. And if you want help with that, coming up this month in less than a week is the live copywriting for Marketing to Women workshop. It's a 3-part, 3-hour workshop, and I promise to give you information on the 5 profiles of different personality types of female buyers. So if you're working with female clients and who isn't in the fitness and health industry, this is for you. I'm also going to give you a dozen word families and talk about how to ethically encourage and persuade people to get started, the ones who are on the fence, so that you can help them and make a difference in their lives. We're going to talk about how you set yourself apart by mining your stories and how to tell them in a way that works. And I'm going to provide for you 5 templates, actually a bonus 6 template, 5 templates for writing your copy. And we're going to go through and talk about how to do this, how to write a title for something like a blog post, an article, or a video, or about a registration page, maybe for a masterclass or a webinar you're having, how to write an email, how to write a sales page, how to write a blog, and how to hire someone and write the description for the person you want so that you eliminate the person you don't. So, right now, it's time to register, and it is so stinking affordable that you really can't say no. And that was my goal. It's $97. If you write one email that is better, or one subject line that is better than you had last week, potentially you get that email opened. If the email itself is better, you get something clicked on inside of that email, and you make a sale, my friend, because you will also know how to better describe the product or the service that you're linking to. And all of those things lead to more sales, more people opening your email, looking forward to your email. When they click on the links in the email, they are much more likely the right client and customer for that program. And that's how it's done. There is no magic from going from $5,000 a month to over 6 figures in a month. It's just doing the homework. And it's not just throwing it out there. If you're somebody who hates email and you don't see the value of it, every time you send an email, you should be making a sale of some kind. And I'll show you how to do that. It's all happening July 21st, 2021. It's from 3 to 6 Pacific. That's 6 to 9 Eastern. And then if you're somewhere in between, you do the math or the time zone. I'm challenged. You will get the replay, but I urge you, if you can, you want to get there live because we're going to workshop this. I'm going to present, but then we're going to work and give you time to focus on a project. So I highly encourage you to bring a problematic sales page that's really not converting for you, or bring a product that's really not working, not attracting the people you want. And we can perfect that. And then your job is to get traffic. We'll talk a very small bit about how to do that. I'll leave the link to the copywriting workshop in the show notes, and it's this simple: fitnessmarketingmastery.com/copywriting. And there are limited number of seats because this is a bonus for my mastermind members. And I want to make sure that I have time to talk to each and every one in the workshop who's there live. So bring your questions, bring your one focus, and we'll talk about how to create that sales page, how to create a title, how to create the email, how to create a post on social media, and how to create potentially a blog that will organically attract people who are interested. And then if you're in the market for hiring help because your business explodes because of your copywriting skills, you will already have your arsenal of a how to hire template, how to write the perfect ad for the person that you want. What are you waiting for? Go get started. Let's make this happen. Improve your copy, get better results, doing what you do, not what someone else does. It'll be your words to your ideal customer at the right time. Fitnessmarketingmastery.com/copywriting. And do this one more thing. This is your homework. Write down all your stories. The stories where there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, but the ones where things were definitely not perfect for you, where the wheels fell off the bus, maybe you fell off the wagon and got ran over by it. Those stories are only yours. No one can take those. Start telling them, mining them, writing them down, even if you don't yet know what to do with them, and bring them to the workshop, and I'll help you with that. What are you waiting for? The world needs you right now more than ever.